you've made very, very important points on the 4 proposals of what we should consider an African reparations agenda should look like. I know the Republic of Ghana, as the political sponsor and supporter of the theme of 2025, has been doing a lot of work. There have been conferences. There's the Accra Declaration of 2023. Where does what Patrick, Honorable Zungula, Honorable Kanyisile, fit within the Republic of Ghana's framework or approach to the next 10 years in trying to put together this definition of what African collective reparations should look like?
Thank you very much, and thank you to Afrodad and Ideas for this wonderful conference today. In Ghana, we say Akwaba. Yes, Akwaba to you all, and I hope you're having a good time in Ghana. And I believe you look forward to going to the Independence Square and all the other places on Friday to see for yourself what we as Africans can do when we come together. I suppose you asked me this question because AU designated Ghana as the champion nation for the decade-long initiative. Yes. Our role of Ghana championing this is based on the Accra Proclamation on Reparations, which was held last year, 2023, by the former president, and the current president has affirmed it. And I must say that when it comes to reparations, even though we are from different political lineages, we are one when it comes to reparations. And it should tell you that we really are serious about it, and we really want to do as much as possible to take what firmly belongs to us as the people of Africa. And historically, we are leading this role clearly because when you look along the coast, you see all the forts and the castles, and it reminds us of all the difficulties and the painful moments that we had to go through as a result of the transatlantic slave trade and colonialism as well. So I'm not surprised that this current generation of our leaders have taken this up and are doing everything possible to make sure we work with the African Union to make this reparation and reparative justice come to pass collectively. And so as Ghana, we are doing 2 things on the international front and on the domestic front. On the international front, what we're doing is collaborating with the regional and global institutions to explore the legal and judicial options for reparations, because you need a framework to enable you to do that. And so we want to leverage on other international compensation schemes and see how best we can come up with a framework that will support what our global and regional institutions are doing. But one thing that we keep talking about is consistency. The young MP spoke about consistency. In consistency, we need a consistent pool of resources to be able to champion this. And that is why we are calling for the establishment of the Global Reparations Fund, and it should be hosted in Africa. And we believe that this will give us some consistent pool of resources to enable us campaign and push for the agenda. Secondly, we're also supporting the transcontinental partnership framework between the AU, CARICOM, Latin American states, and the African diaspora. And Ghana continues to support these partnership frameworks. That links people of African descent. And if you would recall, last year in Bahamas, Ghana chaired the Afri-Exim annual general meetings hosted in Bahamas. And over there, you could see a strong demonstration of our brothers in the diaspora also wanting to support us in this regard, to take what is duly ours. Again, what we're doing on the international front that has been re-echoed by almost all the panelists here is demanding reforms of our global financial systems and structures. Because we believe that the reparation should be multidimensional. It should not just be financial in nature, but also a structural transformation. And that structural transformation must come in our financial systems, where we believe that we ought to get better terms when we go out there for loans. We ought to be able to be in a position that we can leverage on everything that we have to be able to also take what is due us when we go on the international market. So we believe that if we work together to structurally transform the financial ecosystem, that will also go a long way to help us in this. And as a result of this, Ghana is strongly supporting the Bridgetown Initiative being championed by the Prime Minister of Barbados, because we believe that if we should do this, we should come together to do this. It will go a long way to help us establish that transformation that we want to see in our financial systems and structures. And then another thing we're doing on the international front is backing the AU. And Patrick here can attest to that fact that we are working strongly with the AU to advance the work that they are doing, especially in the area of the legal reference group, to find thought leadership and advice. We're also drawing on global case studies to make sure we help the AU succeed in this. But when you come to the domestic, we have diverse operations that is taking place, and we hope that it will also help us identify and address the issues of reparations and reparative justice. The first and foremost thing that we're doing is deepening the commemoration of key related events. If you would recall, we marked the 400th year of slavery, which we themed the Year of Return. And that Year of Return saw a lot of people of African descent coming into the country, getting to know their heritage, learning and seeing for firsthand what really the ancestors went through. And this, we believe, will also help them be good advocates for us in our journey of reparations and reparative justice as well. Currently, the current government has also instituted another one called the Black Star Experience. And we believe that will also enable more Africans in the diaspora come and experience what it is to be part and parcel of us, and also help promote our social, cultural, and economic connections as well. Another thing that we're really working on is our cultural and symbolic reparations. I heard the MP on my right talk about the return of some of these artifacts that were taken away from us. Last year, we saw the tomb for the Asantehene in collaboration with the UK government and the Victoria and Albert Museum, as well as the British Museum, return some artifacts to our country, included about 32 gold and silver items that were sent to UK during the colonial era. And so we are working very hard to make sure whatever it is that needs to be returned to us domestically, we will do that. And we believe that that will act as a leverage for our fellow countries to also ride on that and be able to demand what is duly theirs that have been taken away from them. One other thing that we also need to do is to balance the historical narratives. We shouldn't allow the Western-centric interpretation of our historical backgrounds to take the fall. We will have to rewrite the stories ourselves and encourage our children, and so we should tweak our curricula to make sure we tell the right story, and that is what Ghana has done. We, day in, day out, we keep on improving the curricula for it to reflect the historical background of our dear nation. And finally, what we are also doing is to highlight some of the things that as Africans we have been able to do. Kwame Nkrumah, when you talk about Kwame Nkrumah, everybody knows what Kwame Nkrumah stands for and what Kwame Nkrumah did. Kwame Nkrumah wanted to bring the whole of Africa together to fight for a common purpose. And so as we highlight our African indigenous agencies and these responses, we believe that it will place our minds and our intentions to the fore and help us draw attention to the issue of reparations. And finally, we are also using legal means and advocacy to get a lot of the youth, like my young parliamentarian said, to get a lot of the youth as well as the civil society organizations and to help in this regard because they have the energy. But I must say that it is not that the older MPs don't have that energy, but the focus is different. It's like a body. The arm does something different, the arm and the leg does something different. But at the end of the day, they all age the body. And so it is not that they are tired, but the focus is different. And we will support the young MPs and the old MPs to work together for the common good of this agenda. And so I believe that this is what we have done both at the international front and the domestic front. But in all this, we as Africans, we also need to have that attitude that we should not let go. In doing these things, sometimes it will cost you. They will come up with certain policies that they would want to deter you or for you to sit back, push back, fold your arms and say, it's enough. So we must work hard to make sure we are consistent, we persevere. This is something that we cannot leave halfway. Once we have made that first step, we need to go all out and make sure we get what is duly ours. And I don't think we are asking for too much because the damage and the conflict that this has created, I don't think any, not even in monetary terms or infrastructure terms, can reverse what has happened to us. And so let us be consistent, let us persevere and make sure we get what is duly ours. But we can only do that when we trust ourselves. Most of us don't trust ourselves. When we have to go to countries, some countries in Africa, you need visas for almost every country in Africa. But if we trust ourselves, we will open up our borders and make sure that we come in easily and go out easily. And so we need to look at these things, work together, trust ourselves, build that right attitude, and make sure we continue to persevere. Because I know that this time we are going all out and we are not turning back. When you visit the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, you see the statue of Kwame Nkrumah, and there's one hand pointing forward, saying, forward ever, backwards never. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Osei-Asare, for really framing a very nice picture of what a political champion as a member state needs to look like. And I think just as Comrade Briggs mentioned in his remarks in the previous panel and many others, I think that is the exemplary mode that many of us, either individually, but even when we go back to our countries, the advocacy that we need to do with our politicians is to continue to follow in that exemplary path that the Republic of Ghana is putting before us.